octave. How are you guys doing? Hello. I'm playing around with some lovely sounds. Let's see, transpose down an octave here and here. Let's see how I got to do all my screen fixing. Oh, and now the stream is playing on the browsers. Nice. Okay, so we can confirm we have sound there. Oh, we've got good talking going on already on the YouTube chat. Make sure you join us there. If you, let me copy this link. I'll put note up on, let's see, I gotta make this go over here. There. How is everybody doing? I hope you are all doing. I have to be honest. It was really hard to choose between coming here to this live stream or finishing the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation 4. It is such an awesome game. And I just defeated something in this great big, like close to the end of the game, and there's like a final chapter to go through. And if you guys are into video games, I must say the Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the more satisfying video games with story, the subject, the animation, the visuals. It's just, it's not available for anything except PS4, I believe. So sorry if you don't have a PS4. You cannot partake of the, it's kind of like without Atmosphere, you, So this is going to be a fun live stream. I have a couple different things planned. I've gotten a lot of email from you because we've never done this before, but I've opened the community up to make patches for this library. So we'll talk about the details of that. And so a lot of people have simple, basic questions, but then we're also for the second half of this going to get into doing some creative and some deep level programming. I want to do some things where I've talked about where I take a multi and I take one of these sounds and I can save it out as a single patch. What if you want to go the other way around? We'll get into that. So there's some crazy stuff planned. So let me see here what's going on. Okay, there's 53 people in the chat already. Holy cow. You guys just keep showing up. I love it. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. Hi, hands together, head bowed. I appreciate all of you very much. This is a special live stream because we're going to be playing with a new library that is really special. I really love how this is turning out. And I will tell you, I am in conversations with a wonderful viola and violinist. So the series will continue because I want to do all 4 stringed instruments in the MegaMagic concept and then put them all together in the end. So we'll have all 4. It's going to be really, really cool, really special. Let me go over here to my Facebook Plugin Guru page and just let people know through there that live stream is happening. Begin now. Programming with Cello. There. It's fetching its preview so I can hit publish in a minute. There we go. All right. So what is happening? How's everybody's week? Yes. Yeah, this patch is nice. This is a combination of a Contact 5, the Grandeur piano with some special settings. I've talked about this piano before, I think, where you can go into the tone and you can set the color really soft. It's one of my favorite pianos. And then I've got that layered with the multi version of Himalayas. I did this fun thing where I wanted to do some like composite mix things. And so let's do this. So if you have downloaded the demo, you have the, oh, that's only available as patches, right? So let's go initialize multi. Let's go over here to the patches, to MegaMagic Cello demo. And I need to refresh. I've been checking out some people's patches, but they are not in the library right now. I took them out, so it's just the 12 patches that come with the demo, hopefully to show up. So this demo that you can download from my website right now for a library that comes out in 11 days or 8 days is right here. And what this is single samples that are one of 7 or 8 samples to make up the multi-samples. And these pads are these composite things that are using different layers of cellos layered with synths from Del Norte or from MegaMagic pads to make really cool. Let's turn up our volume. Right? This is the C4 sample. So this is one of the samples. But the full library has C1, 2, 3, 4, G1, 2, and G3. So there's 7 samples that actually make up this pad in the full version, so that while this one here it sounds lovely here, it's even more lovely when we get to multis. I'll show you those in a minute. I'm going to stay here for a minute, and I need to go over here and tell my transpose to stop going and go back to 0 so that so as you can see, there's also in this demo that you can download right now, there's the down up, which is a downstroke, and then an upstroke in the sample. So as you're playing, you get this really lovely but again, this is a single patch versus the multi. When I play the multi, it really comes to life. Grand Tetons, there's 2 of these. This has all sorts of stuff going on. It has a bandpass filter in there. It's got the fast violin stroke. And it has a MegaMagic pads, the pianos in the clouds. I can't remember exactly what I called it, but there's 2 versions. That's more the faster attack, and this is a higher sample, so it's more darker. And if you hold it, so this is kind of the magic of having samples. This is just 2 samples that were recorded an octave apart from each other. But the one that's an octave higher do that with this one. We'll play an octave higher if we wanted to. It's a whole different landscape. The planet's composite nature has changed. That's why I wanted to include both of those, because those were really nice for that. Himalayas. And immersive is just cellos from like 3 different layers, and it's just really nice. Then there's the motion fast. And we'll look at ways to use this. There's the motion slow. And then we have these plucks. And I want to point out, so there's plates and verbs. So the verbs is the MegaMagic. The plates, I'll show you in a second. Here's spiccato. The plates I did at the last minute. They're called MMP in the library. I'll show you. And it just sounds like you're more in a real like concert hall, right? The reason for that is because of a bonus I want to share with you today. This came out. And it's free. This is from Sound Toys. It's called the Little Plate. The little plate that thinks it can. And if I take this, let's envelope it so it's really short. So we're going to get rid of the reverb. So I want to show you what this plate... Okay, now let's add the plate. Isn't that beautiful? It's the first reverb Sound Toys has released. That's 100%. You can control mix. There's a high pass filtering. And it will go to 32 seconds. So you can make really cool things. If you put synth sounds through this, I mean, it's just crazy. If you go to something like, we're gonna go to Boo Bonus, patches you guys all made. Let's go to like a cool lead sound. It just gives it a real, let's take all these effects off. Oh, there it is. What's going on here? It's a cool sound. Let's initialize the patch. Isn't that a nice sounding reverb? So, in the library, I'm going to take you over real quickly to the multis, the finished versions. When you get to the, and I numbered them by grouping. So you have spiccato. And let's see, let's make sure the plate reverb is off. Dry, the MegaMagic version. And then the MMP is... just has this like stuff to it that's amazing. And I used a combination of this, and I used a combination of, where is it? It's here in the EMT 250 from Universal Audio. Those two plate effects I layered and set up the way that I wanted it and recorded that to make the MMP MegaMagic plates. So you can go to pizzicato, which is nice. Here's the dry. This is all 7 samples. And then the MegaMagic is... and then the plate version. So I added MMPs to the pizzicato, spiccato, marcato at the very end. Like the last day before I was like finalized. So I was really happy with how those came out. And the P stands for plate, which is the little altar boy or whatever it's called, the little plate. They have other effects that are amazing, that are free. Sound Toys makes great stuff, and they're gonna do Black Friday. They'll have some like $1.99 or something for all of their effects things. So I think this might be the year I actually push the button and buy them all. But check this out. If we load up like what is it, little altar boy, this has some crazy shifting of the format. Robot it. You can get really cool all that from so they're pretty serious what they do with their effects, and the quality is really great. So I want to point out those effects. So I use those to create the MMP versions of the samples that you hear when you're going through the cello library. Wait, MegaMagic cello. We're on patches, right? Oh, we need to go to the demo. Those are the patches I've been working on. So that's what the plate versus the verb. The MMP is plate. Now, so what I'm doing, the concept is pretty simple. I have this platform, and I've done kind of like beta tests with like Halloween. Like, hey guys, make patches. Let's put something together. And I thought a handful of people would get together and make patches, and it ended up like over 35 people made patches, and it was like 165 patches. And I'm like, I think you guys really like to make patches. And because my videos are all about teaching you how to make patches, it just makes sense that the next step on my ladder is to get you guys involved. So I had the time, I looked at my schedule, how to release this library, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you guys a week with samples from this library before it's released to everybody, and let you play with these sounds and see what you guys come up with. What does the collective Guru Nation programming hive mind come up with? So that's everybody's talking about so much stuff over here in chat. Let's see. I think I have it all. So that's what this impetus is to get you guys involved in programming and working with the sounds. I'm all about teaching you guys how to stay in your creative, artistic songwriting mode when you're looking at these plugins. And so here's an opportunity for you to take these samples and play with them. And so a number of questions have come up because a lot of you are sending me things for the first time ever. Sent songs for the Halloween thing for the first time ever, patches for the Boo bonus first time ever, and now you're looking at making patches. And don't make this like a big pressure deal. This is fun. This is just an opportunity to be, this is about creativity. It's about making something that, you know, I can play patches from 3 people that I know, and I will know who made the patches because I know them and I know how they program. And that's that we've been making Korg synthesizers for years. I know those guys. I know what they're going to produce. Everybody has a voice, and your voice is going to come out in your work. And if you're still learning, it will just get to be a stronger voice as you keep doing this. So I want you guys to be involved. And so I put the demo on my website. There's a link at the top of the homepage. Is the only way to get to it. I didn't want to make it a big advertised big thing. I'm just kind of like doing this kind of almost underground. But over 125 of you have downloaded the demo library. So there are going to be a whole lot of patches coming my way. It's crazy. So it's awesome. It's awesome. So the questions that have come up mainly are how do I find my patches? You know, I've made a couple patches. When you make patches, if you take, let's make a patch together right now. Let's take Denali. Now, this is kind of programmed. If you look at the amp envelope and you look at it, it's a slow attack. Let's make it a fast attack just to see what happens if it's immediately on. Maybe I want faster. So the way to get faster is to move into the sample. I'm skipping that because in the actual recording, it's got a nice slow fade in the audio. That happens a lot in these libraries, in these sounds, in the MegaMagic pads. A lot of those, I made sure to carefully record the envelope shape because it's something different per different things that I sampled to make MegaMagic pads. But you can bypass that if you move your sample start a little bit later. because this means I get to make the envelope now. Thank you very much. And I can do all sorts of things at this point. I could, let's look at, we've got just velocity to this. We're going to turn that off and go to the filter. And one thing that's nice with the filter is right click and add a second part. That way you can have, you can get snappy, but you don't have it go all the way down. That way you don't have to fish around so much between your cutoff and your envelope intensity. You can actually just program this cutoff sustain point you make by adding one extra segment to a basic envelope. And then this is my sustain point. And if I want to slowly fade out, and I notice it's got a really nice chiff. I want to emphasize that more. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to right click on the pitch, because this pitch is, if you change this pitch, it's pretty radical. It's 48, so that's like 4 octaves. So if I right click on this and I say modulate this with envelope, mod envelope 4, it's doing 4 octaves of. And then if you go to the triangle, I love to just call up the simple 1 spike and turn off the looping and sync. Make this nice and short and turn on the P button so it's polyphonic. That's very important. Without this, hear that cool attack? If I play a note and play other notes while I hold that down, they don't have that cool attack. Because I'm holding, actually I should get my keyboard up so you can see what I'm doing, because you guys like to see what I'm doing. MIDI transport environment. Clicks, we need to go clicks and ports, I believe, right? And we turn off that, we turn off cables, shrink. It's easier just to show you than to try to explain it, right? So let's go like this. So if I have my keyboard, if I have a note held down and then I play other notes, I don't hear that cool attack. The P button makes it polyphonic, which means that when I play this note, if I play any other notes, that envelope is polyphonic. It will be per note, whether it's being sustained or not. So now I have this unique attack. If I have P off and I play the same thing, there's times where I have it and there's times where I don't. I don't have it. Turn on P and I have it all the time. And mod envelope 4 is the only one that has that button. 3, 2, and 1 do not have that button. So this is the only way to get a polyphonic envelope for. That's why I assigned, when I right clicked on this and I said modulate, I went to the list and I said specifically to do mod envelope 4, because that's the only one has that polyphonic envelope. Now, if I would have said mod envelope 1, just so you know, if you look at your modulation, either in the detail list or even here in the basic list, I can click right here and change it anytime I want to any of this list of things. So I could change it right now to 4. And now we're back to 4 and we got our polyphonic envelope. So it's really, really well laid out how things are set up. Once you've right clicked, I have before right clicked, and instead of saying mod envelopes, I would say velocity. It's like, oh shoot. That's not what I want. It's cool, but it's not what I want. So you can click right here and reassign it. So let's say that So we start with a pad, we're making a plucky. This might be fun layered with something, don't you think? Hey, there's all of these really cool marcato, spiccato, pizzicato samples to play with, right? Let's use one of those on the layer B. That'd be really cool. So now, let me check chat real quick. Are you guys good over there? Everybody's good? All right. There's a lot of chatting going on. All right, so you guys are soaking it in. Good, good, good. Everybody's soaking it in. Okay, so what we're gonna do at this point is go to B and turn it on. Let's turn off A. Oh. Well, because the patch was Denali, I programmed layer B to be a sine wave slow because I was checking the tuning. Let's make it fast. Now, when we go to the sample list, I warn you, I have all the samples. You don't. So I might not click the right marcato, pizzicato, or spiccato sample. I might be choosing a different one than you because I don't remember and I didn't put in the name here which number it is, which pitch it is. And I don't want to go looking for it. It's not that important. I'm going to show you. Let's go to the marcato. Pizzicato might be cool. So, and if I listen to these, this is what's fun. This is what's really cool with this. So here's the different samples and listen to the quality of the sound as it changes. Some are guitars. So there's all of these different samples of MegaMagic Pizzicato to choose from in the full library. And I can turn that on with... Maybe I want this to duck quicker and just not be quite so ambient in this. So I'm going to do a trick where I right click and I add a segment to snap this down. And then I need to bring this down. And by doing this, I can remove as much of the reverb as I want. A lot of people ask me when they buy my MegaMagic libraries, how can I control the reverb? And just use an envelope to shape it so that there's less reverb after the attack. So you could have this or you could have this, right? So I'm just, because when I combine that with this now, it's really nice. I really like that quality. I have to tell you, my 64 audio in-ear monitors. Look at these things. These things I absolutely love to death. I'm going to do a video talking about them just for my on a review thing because I've never had in-ear monitors where what I hear transfers to my speakers in my room and sounds so amazingly good. I usually have to fix all sorts of things. But with these, I hear exactly what is happening in the sound to a level I've never had before with anything I've put over my ears or in my ears. It's just really amazing. So I want to take this down an octave. So I'm going to go to the octaves and now there's that pitchy thing, right? We have the pitch. Let's go over here to layer A. If we go and click at this top header, you can take quickly a list of all the things that I've assigned. And here we have, wow, a lot of things assigned. We're going to get rid of some of these. I don't know why it has so many assigned. It only needs one. So we can take a look at this. It's really strong all the time. One thing you might not know that's cool is on the mod envelopes, there's a depth slider. So I can take this down, no pitchy G. And furthermore, you can right click and modulate this with anything. Modulation wheel, other things, velocity is what we're looking at. And I'll crank it so that when I play hard. So that way if I play soft, nice. It's kind of like we're making a new instrument. This feels like a new instrument in a way, which is kind of cool. Okay, so what else would we want to do to this? I think I have some velocity stuff happening. No? I'm not going to get too deep with this first patch. I have the 18 driver ones, the A18S. And they're the ones that, not the U version, but the, I guess, is it S? Because they are shaped to my ear. It's cool. You put them in like this, and then you twist them into place, and they fit your ear canal perfectly. And that's because you go to a hearing specialist, and they make the molds of your ears that you send to 64 Audio, and they will use those to make the custom ear monitors that fit perfectly into your ears. It's amazing stuff. Yes, they're crazy expensive, but you know, if you look at monitor speakers, they are not inexpensive. They're expensive to get really great quality, detail, high-end, professional. This is their high-end, and it was worth it. I wanted to have something. My room, I'll just in a real frank nutshell, I have a lot of debt to pay because of what's happened in the last couple of years and buying a house and stuff. So I don't have the money right now to put into treating my room the way I want to. So I bought these instead because it's much more money that I want to spend on my room, and I don't have the money, but I need to have really quality reference both with the speakers and with these. And so I trust these enough. I can work with these, and these are a wonderful reference in my situation because my room isn't done. It's far from complete. It's a white room with walls, basically. I have a lot of work to do here, but I have other things I have to take care of first. So I invested in these, and I'm very happy that I did. So that's in a nutshell the in your monitor situation for me, and I'm thrilled to have them. Now, for this we need to look at effects, and what I usually do for effects, and you've seen me do this, any of my libraries that you buy come with the bonus presets, and those have to be manually installed, and I'll show you about that detail in a minute. But if you go to the common effect racks, there's all of these, and these mix ones are all set with all sorts of really nice settings. Here's a drone with eternal verbage. That'd be interesting. DDL and eternal verb. Up the very top is my standard compressor limiter mix. So if you would just doing this, turn this off by hitting the button here. By adding the mastering effects, right there, it takes it seriously up in game from. And if it's too much, there's things you can do really easily to tame this down. Bring down the makeup so it's a little bit softer. Bring down the threshold so it doesn't hit as much. The higher you bring this, the more it compresses. And if you bring it down less, you get it to where it's just a little bit of, a little contouring to the sound. Without it, hear how it just brings out this nice detail to it. And then I have a limiter with no, This is one of those things that I do just to protect the output so it doesn't go above 0 dB. Without this, it can be, it's a little hot. And it's just, oh, why did it do that? Turning this off and turning this on. My computer just had a little seizure for a moment. So you can do that. Now, on top of this, we now have in Omnisphere 2 this auxiliary bus, which is really fun. And I haven't created a bonus pack of presets yet. That will be coming probably next year. I'll make something to add as a bonus added to the library, the bonus presets. By the way, if you want to find them, here's how you find how to install these. Because unlike you have this install.omnisphere to install patches, multis, and samples. The things you buy from my website, the .omnispheres, you use this option, you select it, it loads them up. The bonus presets are not automatically loaded. You have to manually load them. So if you click right here on the little logo of Spectrasonics on any page, anywhere, and you hit diagnostics, it will do a count. It takes it a few minutes because it has to count all the patches, multis, sound sources, all of the details that Omnisphere is watching, and it will tell you right here exactly where it is looking. This is where it is looking to get the information that it needs for Omnisphere to work. A lot of times in the past, we had all sorts of problems because people would have multiple Steam folders. And it'd be like, well, which Steam folder is the one Omnisphere is looking at? And so they nicely added this ability for it to show you exactly where your Steam folder, this folder right here, is living, right? And then if you open up Omnisphere, I have one extra folder here you don't have called my out folder where I put patches and multis that I don't want to have show up in my list because I have so many libraries at this point that I hide these because there's over 25 libraries now. It's crazy. But if you go to the settings and then if you go to the presets and to user, and this is where you will find the arpeggiator. This is where you put arpeggiator presets, the envelope presets. If you have Creature-esque, there's the granular presets. If you have, I believe I've put these stack presets. I think I've put them into something. I'm not sure if I have or not. I might not have given stack out yet, but I think I did in Percussa. I think. I can't remember for sure. But effects is a little bit unique in that for the effects to work, you have to go down and find racks inside the effects list. And when you open up racks, that's where you put the racks. And what the rack is it's loading up all 4 effects in this one page. There's 4 different racks. There's the common that everything goes through, the B layer effect rack, the A layer effect rack, and then auxiliary. And it's really nice. You can see these effect racks no matter what page you're on, but just know what they're for. So for this one here, I'm going to go to the effects racks and see if I don't have phaser effects. I have gated reverb, huge delay. So maybe we can try this and let's make our timing faster. So let's go like quarter notes and eighth notes. Now, there's a limiter on this, which is pushing the volume up. I could tuck it down a little bit if I don't want it. That's cool. And bring this down so it's just a little bit by default. Like, yeah, that's okay, but I want to have less feedback on the delay. Oh, there's a triple delay. That's what it is. So eighth notes, half notes, quarter notes. Let's have this also be like a dotted eighth note for fun. That also makes it not be a half note so it doesn't linger forever. And then you go to your common, right click on this and have your mod wheel bring this up. Cool. And you could bring your intensity up higher. I think my default is to have the mod wheel bring down the volume. So if you right click and say show modulation, and we could either mute this or we could just bring down the intensity so it doesn't make it so soft. So it's nice. Cool. I think I want to do something to layer A where there's no effects. I just want to give it a reverb, and it can even be the really inexpensive easy verb. Just to give it a little less. And then I'll right click and have this come up with the mod wheel. This will be very dramatic. And then at the same time, let's go to the cutoff, which is down. And let's say modulate that with the wheel to extreme. Cool. Okay, so we're ready to save whatever we have. You've gotten into this point where you're happy. It's like, my mod wheel does something. The main rules are, well, let's save this and we'll talk just a little bit more about rules. So you would go save patch as, and then you go through the tagging and the naming. We want to give it a different name. Now you can save this to the same folder that you have installed when you get the demo library. The demo folder has hopefully all these folders in it. So you can say this is a pads, so we can go, where's my strings and pads? Oh, here up here. And say I want to, well, this is actually a pluck. So let's go to, I wish they had a little bit more instead of just synth pluck, but synth pluck is close enough. So the naming convention, you don't have to follow these rules, but I large caps for pluck, so it groups it up. This way you can see all the plucks together. And this is using Denali. So let's call this Epic Denali. And save, and we go through, oh, we got a mood thing. This is a dreamy, but upbeat. It's beautiful, hopeful. We called it epic, so we better click epic, right? You can add your own comments. I have simple comments here so you can see what's going on. We're gonna say nice layer of Denali and pizzicato cello sample, pitch EG, and other, no, we don't need to get into that. Just mod wheel brings even more epic EPIC to the game. Save. All right, where did it save it, right? You want to send this to me. You've made 5 patches, you've made 10 patches, whatever you have. How do I get them to me so that I can, because you have till next Friday night, I believe this is my deadline I've given you guys, and that is where you need to get patches to me so I have time to go through them. There'll be some work done to some of them. We'll select, I don't know how many we're going to select. It's all in the air. I'll have my assistant Taylor Harris helping me out. But go to Settings, Libraries, to Patches, to the MegaMagic Cello demo. And if you want, you can just, on the Mac, you can just right click and compress this. And if you do that, compress, you now have this thing that is a zip file you can email to me. Or you could put it to Dropbox and send me a link to it. And the nice thing with this is it doesn't have any samples, so it's only 173 kilobytes. So it's very tiny for an email enclosure. If you send me a .omnisphere file, it will be hard because you're going to start duplicating the cello samples that I already have installed. So I'm not sure how to deal with that, but I'll come to that bridge once. Some of you will do that because that's how it works. But the other option is just to open MegaMagic Cello demo, and in the pluck folder, there it is. So you'd drag this over and put it into an email attachment, and it will be sent to me, and it works. They load up just fine. So that's how you find the patches, and that's how you would send them to me in an email document. You guys have, it's the support at Plug and Groove website for the email address, right? The basic rules are this, though, for making the patches. Please either start with one of these patches and then take off, because these are based on initialized patches, or go here and say initialize multi, make sure it initializes everything so you know that you're starting with just a basic patch. Go to sample, hit the folder, go to the MegaMagic Cello demo folder, start programming. But don't take I hope you guys don't do much or any of the going to I don't have the samples currently loaded in this, so I can't show you per se from there. But if you were to say Airwave and take one of these, don't take this and put cello samples in it. You know, it's disrespectful to Airwave, and that's not the way that we work. So you can take ideas from this and apply them. You could take the arpeggiator pattern, which is just this. You know, in a case like this, if you wanted to borrow something, the thing that's really unique to this is this, that pulsing envelope. So you could say copy the envelope and then put that to a patch that you started from scratch. I don't mind that type of use. You could save these out as presets. There's inside of the envelope presets, actually, like Del Norte comes with a whole bunch of different envelope, right? So there's things like that you can do, but don't just take patches from other libraries, or even more of a red flag. Don't start with Omnisphere factory patches and make patches. That's not okay. Okay, thank you on that front. Are there questions? There's rather interesting. Oh, good. And Bernie put the PC location where you find the effect rack, where to find them, so forth. Yeah, C program data / Spectrasonic / Steam / Omnisphere settings library / presets / user / effects / racks. What about effect rack presets? May we use them? Yeah, you can. And you can use those from anywhere. Typically, effect presets and stuff, you want to modify them to match what's going on in your sound, right? So that was and I get carried away. I'm sorry if it's too much on what I did on the edits. You can make but that's what it takes to make cool patches, new patches. If you send me Epic Denali, it's in. Thank you. I tell you. So what we're gonna do, I wanted to do something different. So the concept for this next step, this is kind of the reverse of something I haven't done before. We've taken all these different things that are multis and like percussa, right? And we have, let's see, let's call up the, oh no, I loaded these up so they should work. Or maybe I didn't put sound sources in. Shoot, I can't show you. But the idea being that you have all of these different parts that we use to make a multi, and then you save them each out as patch. but we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to take, well, I haven't shown you the full library. Shoot, shame on me. Let me show you the full library. This is really cool. So there are, I believe, 35 core or more. I can't remember. You have to realize one thing with me, and it's really challenging with the job I do. I am horrible with details. I do not remember things that I do. It's part of why I can make so many sounds, I guess. But if I'm emailing, I'll tell you, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's you got to accept who you are. If I'm emailing someone an answer to a question on a specific parameter inside of Omnisphere, I have to go over and I have to look in Omnisphere to make sure that I have the right name for that parameter before I type what it is. Here, I need to reply to someone. Someone's called me twice. I am doing a live stream for another hour. ... Call later. Something's going on, but I can't reply right now because I'm talking with you guys. All right. So my details. Some people retain all that. I don't, and God bless those that do. If you signs, I'm pure Gemini, pure air, like ether. I'm here, then I'm gone. And so details just kind of like go straight through me and out. And so I have to actually, and I turned you off. So I have to, like, what did I just do? Okay, so I don't remember details. So I don't remember exactly how many. If I wanted to tell you for sure, I would have to do, this is what I would have to do. I would have to go to the Steam folder. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. And so I would go to my Steam multi-folder, to MegaMagic Cello, and the way that I do this is see how it says 14, then I open it up and there's 49. So that means there's 35 extra things inside of the folder. So yes, there are 35 multis right here that make up this library. So I just don't remember details. It's one of the things that drives me crazy, but it's just how I've been for all my entire life. So here they are, the 35 multis that are the core of the library. There's the vibrato of the cello. Now, these are not looped, so it plays and stops. I thought it's kind of cool to include these. So they're included. Then I also looped them. So you can play chords. They never go away. There's the vibrato MegaMagic, not looped. Which is beautiful. Okay, and then there's looped. So and it sustains forever. Mod wheel brings down the volume, so you You can do crescendo, decrescendos. Okay. No vibrato is very straight. And then those are also looped. And I tried to make them smooth as I could. There's a little tuning intonation in some of these. But when you're playing chords, that's... You don't even hear it, it's just... You have to realize, cello has no frets. So for Kevin to be able to play these notes as straight and as, I mean, he's a wonderful player. I'm so lucky that we had him to work with. No vibrato, MegaMagic, but not looped. And up high, they're beautiful, even though cellos can't, you know. Okay, and then looped. The crescendos are nice. Now these I couldn't loop because it's going up and down. There's no place to loop without it sounding like a... And for these I only had 7 samples that I used so that I could hide a program of strings . And there, the down up vibratos are just pure gold. This is where I would go if I wanted to play like try to get solo cello out of this library that was really nice sounding. I think that's the nicest that I have. It's really hard with just 7 or 8 samples to get. And the nice thing with this concept, this is using the strings. Right? And the nice thing with this is you can edit just patch 8 if I needed to. to control the mix, I could have all these guys come down a little bit more in volume and have more strings with just a little bit of cello added to it, like this. And then speed up the envelope of A, of layer 8. So there's that hidden layer 8 for a lot of these. Here's the down up. Oh, well, the first one, the down up, these are not looped. So okay. And even though they're dry, there's effects on the master chain. So if you want to turn the reverb off, and this is where it gets to be a bit of a pain with the way Omnisphere works, is that if I wanted to change something like the release, I would have to go through all 8 programs and either do it manually like this, or if I want to be really specific, I would go into the envelope and I would copy this envelope setting, go to part 4, paste, part 5, paste, part 6, paste, part 7, and this way they all have the same envelope setting. And then you go back to the multi and turn on the reverb. If you want to do that. It's not where you can change the release and it changes it to the whole keyboard sound, because it's 7 different patches making up part 1, 2, 3, 4. We will name all these for the final. These all have names, so we know what they are. But right now, this is just my work process. Okay, but we do have it also looped. So here it is. After it gets done loading the MegaMagic, here's the looped. So this motion all the time. Nice, really nice, really fun to play with. Down up with MegaMagic reverb. And then looped so that it would actually loop forever. We have pizzicato, yeah. And these I've made them slower, patty kind of shape. And again, we have layer B, or layer 8 is the strings. Here's where it gets very nice. So those are available with the strings when you turn them on. So fun to play. It's beautiful. All right, starting, yeah, Daydream. Well, wake up for the... So you have the dry, and again, there's strings. play, man. Really, really fun. Right? That's the MMP, which has that plate kind of a vibe versus more sparse and like wider. And these are fun because if you play short, yeah, there's a nice hold it down. And you have, I think, 13 seconds. Pretty cool. Spiccato. Now, in a case like this, I had a sample for the high that I used. It'd be easy if I wanted to. I could go to the pizzicato, which will have the part 8, which has right here. So go to part 8. Say copy part. Let's go to the multis, to the spiccato that does not have that strings. And if you want, you can make the choice to sacrifice out that part 8. So you go to the stack page, which that shows you your key layout. Have this go the whole keyboard range and have this one that stopped right here go up the rest of the keyboard range. And then go to part 8 and just say paste part, and boom. We now have strings. And I'll probably make multis that have things like this in them. So you won't have to do that step, but for the moment, that's what you have to do, just so you know. Spiccato with the MegaMagic. Kind of dramatic. It's got a nice thing. And then the plate. Nice dramatic. Marcato is a little bit longer stroke. And then if you add the reverb, it's lovely. Or the plate. Come here, plate. It'd be great layered with a real orchestra. The motions, these are really unique and really cool. We are missing some cello samples. Cellist drops bow, cello adjusts chair. Cellist curses while trying to get the cello out of the car. Okay, Tim, thank you. You can provide those. I actually have, I won't tell you yet. There's some secrets to this library. Before we are done, I have a couple other secrets to share. But I'm not telling you now. Not telling you now. So the motion, this is very similar to the down up that are up here, where it just goes down and up, right? So down up vibrato. Right? But these, instead of just going down and up, he goes down, up, down, up, down, up a whole bunch of times. So that's it's a little bit faster than just the down ups. But these are looped. They're just beautiful. So that sounds so real because there's just this motion that's happening everywhere. It's just beautiful, beautiful stuff. So those are both, and then long. So the long is more like a pad. So long meaning long release. So you can play more in a. It sits so nicely, whereas these are more. Same samples, but by changing the envelopes, you play in a different way, okay? And then the MegaMagics. Just this magic surrounding it, and then the longs are like pads. So then the fast is a fast stroke. So and then the long is the pad version. And then these are available in MegaMagic. Right? Now the Denali, let me show you real quickly. If we initialize the multis, if we go to the patches, I'll show you both what single sounds like and then what the multi sounds like. So the demo, let's go to Denali. That's just a patch, one sample across the whole keyboard. Okay? Now let's go to the multi version of Denali, and this is what it sounds like. Please load. Huge. Okay, so they expand and explode by about 10 times between patches and the final full things. Here's the Grand Tetons, both as a patch. Here's the Grand Tetons as a patch. So let's say the G4, this is more the... And then if we go to the multi version of the Grand Tetons, notice I named these after mountain ranges. I was feeling very mountainy, rangy when I was making these, but here's the multi. Just, you want to play them all day long. Himalayas. That's actually a Del Norte virus patch, layered with cellos. Whereas Denali is a different virus, Del Norte EDM synth patch layered with cellos. It's got octaves. Right? And then immersive is nothing but cellos from MegaMagic cellos, but layered in Logic and then re-recorded with processing so that and yes, one of the effects for immersive was little plate. So I used this in making immersive. So it's a really, if you guys don't have it, it's free. So go grab it from soundtoys.com. It's great. There is a bonus section in the library that you guys don't have. I don't have patches for a lot of this yet. I'm building those as we speak. But let me show you, because there's a couple really cool special. These are like just one-off samples that were performed. I can just show you this way by going here, here, here. So this would be the cello 10, because there's 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 being, I should actually, cello pad should be where I put cello 10, but I didn't. It's done. It's organized the way it is. But cello 10, these are one-off samples. That I thought would make really lovely programs. So okay, but there's other stuff in here that's really cool. The motion fast. There's also this one, which was one of the first samples. This was actually recorded during the sampling session into Logic and processed at the session, and it's so nice I've kept it because then it fades out. There's some really nice pizzicatos, which if I I'll show you. I've made a couple patches already using some of these. It's cello and a waveform and arpeggiating. There's some nice pads. So all sorts of things are happening already. So this coming week I will fill this up with a whole bunch more patches. That will be my patches for the library to go along with all the multis. And then as of next Friday, we will add your patches to the whole mix and see what that turns into. This is really fun. Any questions? The other strings are done stacking there. Let's see. What did Chris? He's talking about. I'm going to check it out. But again, oh, there's nice. There's good conversations going on in chat. I'm just going to let them keep doing their thing. It's kind of like their own little life. So one thing I wanted to do, and we'll do it for the next 10 minutes, we'll do it real quick, just to get you the idea of the opposite direction. I want to take, let's do this. Let's have it initialize. No, I don't want to do it that way. Let's go initialize the patch. So I'm going to be playing around with some of the stuff I really want to do, and you guys can follow lead because you have the samples to do so, is the pizzicato or the marcato, those fast attack samples. Let's get down to the actual ones in the library that are the selected ones for the across the keyboard. And let's have this go down an octave. Go to the amp. So this is where it gets interestingly challenging. So need to go down one more octave. So check this out. I'm using a C2 sample. So I'm going to go to layer B and I want to find something from Cello that's also using a C2 sample that can be layered. This is no vibrato, so it's gonna. Now, if I wanted to make this stand out, there's a couple different ways. An easy way is to use the precision compressor and bring it to sustain. Oh, but I don't want to do this to the common. So let's copy this effect and make it go away. I want to do this just to layer B. So paste. Let's look for a different sample. Maybe one of the down ups, or yeah, like C. So I'm not going to try to perfect this, but I want to show you the concept of what I'm going to be working on this week some. So I'll make a patch, and I'll get it to where let's go to the effects and say on the common we want to use something to give it some space. Not the blat slammed verb, so we can turn this off. I don't need a delay. I don't. So I have a C2 sample. So I need to do this. I like that. Let's say that I've worked on this patch. Let's just pretend. Maybe on this I want to filter it. I don't want any velocity. A stronger filter, so let's go 24 dB. And because of that, I'm going to modulate the filter cutoff also with a filter. So it's being double attacked to the filter. That will let it get brighter. I'm going to do a trick where I add a snappy section. That's cool. So here's the idea. So I'm going to change this instead of the C2 to be the C1 for each of these two layers. So it's just that. Then I go to multi-mode. I turn on stack. I'm gonna need to add part 5 and part 6, part 7. And then I go to this. This is So that's part one. And I want to have the mod wheel do brightness. And I also wanted to bring up some wave shaping. So right click and have this. Oh, what am I doing? Not velocity. Here's one of those cases where I'm going to reroute it to mod wheel. Maybe not quite so much. Actually, I liked it getting crunchy. Cool. And I need a little bit more brightness to it. And I need it to not be down an octave after all. Or I do need it down. Okay, so what I do at this point, check this out. So if I copy this part, go to part 2, which is currently not making any sound, and paste this part, I now need to go into my windowing and I'll set up, let's just do it as a 7-way, like this. This maps it so that up to here. And then these guys are going to be higher up the keyboard. So I love how this editing window works. It's very nice. So part 2, I need to go here and go to G1 for each of the 2 layers. So it's playing different samples. So then we copy this, copy part 3, paste part, and this will go back to C2, the next step in the map. So I'm making, and then this stops right there. See what I'm doing? I'm building. I'm building this multi-sampled patch from the patch level and turning it into a multi-sample multi. It's crazy. Fun stuff. But it will work. It was like a proof of concept to see if this would work, and it does. So we go, let's see, turn you off for the moment. So we'll put you all the way up here, up here. It's easier just to build it maybe this way. And then I'm ready for the next one to show up right here, right? And this will be part 4. So take copy part 3, go to part 4, paste, and this is for the G2 sample. So we go boom. Oh, there's a dead space, so I have to go to the multi. This is telling it where each of these patches plays and doesn't. The drawback with this is that if I go, maybe I want this to be brighter and I want to add EQ to it or something. If I do this, let's just for fun, let's do it. Let's add EQ. Right? Only this part of the keyboard has the EQ in setting. So if I want the EQ to be here, I have to go copy this effect, go to this patch, and find a space and paste. So part 1, paste. And then you have to adjust the EQ So it's a challenging way to work because I have to nail the patch first and then put it into a multi. But I will be doing this through the week. So please praise for me. That's a lot of work to do. But that's the kind of stuff we can do. And I can't wait to do that kind of work on this library. All right, we're about to wrap up. Does anybody have questions on the list? Remember the secrets you want to reveal. Oh, I'm not going to reveal. I need to get them all ready to reveal before I reveal. I have another week of cello before the library comes out. But it has to do with some samples that actually are not even in Omnisphere at the moment that I will be showing you. But there's one sample I want to show you. This is so beautiful. I haven't used this yet. So initialize. Do I want to initialize this or do I keep it? I see potential. So let's go save multi. This goes into, yeah, split sounds. I'm just going to give this an interesting name, like oh, gotta watch out. That made the EQ that I added to give it more rosin. It made it so that the wave shaper way too ugly now. So I have to fix that. Synth. We'll call it new layer for the moment. New layer, YouTube. And one nice thing with multis is there's no defined what you have to do to save something. So I'm just going to save it. That way I don't lose it. But listen to the sample. This is so cool. Initialize. It's a really high sample that Kevin played. I mean, he was playing on the cello on the top of the highest note to get some of these pitches. And this one in particular, I'm going to slow down the envelope, slow down the release, sample cello. It's in the 10 grouping. And I think it's this. And so if you layer this with a synth waveform, do you guys hear Boards of Canada, stuff like that? So I can't wait to play with these sounds and make all sorts of really cool synthy things as well as string things. For the patch mode that you guys are working on, it's going to be more synthetic sounding just because of the fact that it's just one sample. So some of the patches you guys make and send to me, I might turn them into multis in the process I just showed you for those that I want to take that effort to make it so it plays nicer as cello across the keyboard. So, oh, you're welcome. Thank you for teaching. It's my pleasure to teach and share and inspire. Give a chance to see your questions by... yeah, you can email me questions during the week. I'm happy to... how do I get the ARP from retriggering every time I hit a note? And let the ARP follow the pattern when hitting different keys. Easy. Go to the ARP and set your trigger to be legato instead of note. It's probably set to note. But it's going to transpose to new notes. MegaMagic piano, that's a possibility. Piano is really hard to do with 7 samples or 8 samples, I must tell you. And there's so many things, but I can do unique synthy piano type stuff for sure. So that's definitely on the list, my friend. Definitely on the list. So let's do this. Someone's asking about an ARP question. So let's do... These, I believe, are working correctly. If we go to... oh. These are out there. So this is an Airwave multi or patch. Because it's set to legato, if I had it set to note, it takes over every time I play a new note. I think that's what you're asking. I'm not sure exactly from your question, John, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, Keyscape now has really nice pianos and acoustic pianos, electric pianos, all sorts of things. Is there a way to record the ARP into the DAW? There is not. Not to get the notes out of Omnisphere. It doesn't have the ability to record that in. No. Can you loop samples inside Omnisphere? You cannot. There is 0 sample editing facilities of any sort inside of Omnisphere. So you have to use an outside editor to edit, do crossfade loops. Omnisphere reads a sample. It reads, if you've noticed the way this library is organized, there's a pitch as the very last characters that you see in the name, C1, C2, C3. That's how it knows pitch, so that when I select this, every one of them's in the right pitch. Oh, they're going into Airwave. So you have to have the sample name at the end with space before it. You can use a sharp sign or a flat sign. It knows that type of stuff. But the name has to be organized in such a way. So it takes a lot of work. One of a very good editor for creating the loops in samples. There was a new program that a friend of mine, if Jason was here, he would know. Let me see. Let me tell you about this. It's for the Mac. I don't think it's for the PC. So if we go over here to see all. Hang on one second. I will tell you the name of this. Again, I don't remember all these information things. So let's see here. Let's see, where is it? We've been conversing a lot. Yes, it's $29. Here it is. Oh, it's not Myriad. It's not Triumph. Oh, it is with these guys. Okay, so there's a company, you guys should know about these guys. They do a lot of things. Here we go. Bring this over here. This is Architect. They have Triumph, which is a sample editor, Myriad, Spectre, but Loop Editor is a really great. Do they have any more details? Learn more. It has the ability to set points, to slice, crossfade, looping, $29, tagging, exporting, and a couple guys on the Guru team have had really good success with this program. It's a simple tool, but the crossfading is really nice, and that's the most important thing. Is crossfading is where it's really hard to find something that's really nice and natural sounding. So yeah, I would recommend that you look there. And Myriad is great for batch process, conversions, and so forth. A lot of times stuff I need to do, let me show you, I don't know if you guys know about this, but this is one of my favorite time-saving applications on the planet. because I have to rename many things all at once. If I decide like all this group of samples, I want to have the beginning name be CEL2 so that they show up in the grouping. There's a really cool program. Let's see here. Let's do this. Here's one of my work cello folders. So if we go here. So here, I will share a little fun stuff in here. Here's my chop shop. This is where I took all the full length samples and then chopped them into individual samples, right? And then I went through and I marked with labeling the ones that were selected ones I wanted to use in the maps. Now, if I needed to rename all of these samples, I can right click and down to services, I have Better Finder Rename. I could take cello. I could say take everything that says cello and rename it Jello. And boom, it has renamed all of these patches, 36 patches, Jello instead of cello. And I go, I think I like cello instead. So rename Jello to cello. And it can add numbering to the names. It can add text to the beginning of the name. It can convert to lowercase. It can completely rename something. So this is my go-to life-saving program that helps me organize these libraries. Like there's nothing else on the planet I could use that I know of. The Better Finder Renamer is like one of those true, secret, wonderful applications you have to have. Yes. Hi, Jason's here. Jason's the one that told me about the sample loop editor from our architect. These guys. Loop editor. Jason, you like this, right? PC, you can use file renamer. So, I don't know if I'm an endless source of info. I'll give you all the info I've got, but you need these tips if you want to organize things without having to sit there and edit 180 sounds to change the name of them one at a time. This it can do text-based, like everything that says, even things like, I'll use it to get rid of dashes or add dashes or all sorts of things, you know. All sorts of things like that. All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. The deadline is next Friday. So I will have lots of patches from lots of customers, I believe, on Saturday to show. And we can all go ooh and ah together. So we'll kind of like do a preview. And maybe we'll kind of vote a little bit as we go through the patches and say, ooh, I like that. I have obviously been here a while doing this. I have since 1989, I think. So yeah, lots of tools learned and used, and they've gone away, and you know. But I'm happy with where we're at with the tools to work with. It's good times. We are limited to 1,000 patches per person. Please don't send me 1,000 patches, man. Pick out your best 20 from 1,000 if you do 1,000. So I guess Omnisphere is worth getting. Omnisphere is really a wonderful program. I use it so much. I'll be totally frank. The reason I use it the most is because customers don't steal by torrenting my libraries. Anything else I have supported, I don't sell very many copies because they are torrented so massively. And the customers that buy Omnisphere seem to be honest, legit, nice people that actually support me. And so I keep making libraries for Omnisphere. We've made libraries for Spire, for Serum. Serum has pretty okay support, but if you go anywhere and look at the torrent sites, there's 7,000 downloads of my library that I've sold 60 copies of. And I can't make a living. I can't ask somebody to make a living making a library that's only going to sell 60 copies because they get a percentage of the profits. And so yeah, Omnisphere is great because of its capabilities. It can do so much. But for me, the main reason is the people that own Omnisphere are really nice people that pay for their libraries. And so I make enough money to keep doing this. If I was to just remember Cymatics, how they were Serum libraries, and then you don't see them anymore. It's because they don't sell many copies because they are stolen so much. So if I was trying to just support some of the other synthesizers, I wouldn't make any money. But I love you guys, and you guys are really nice to me back by buying the libraries. So I will keep supporting you. And I have other things in the work as well beyond just Omnisphere, of course. But Omnisphere is where you guys are honest, wonderful customers. So that's the main reason why I support Omnisphere. I would like to support everything else, but the support doesn't come back. So that's the truth. So support the creator. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. There's so many people that make patches, and you know, I wish them all great luck. Oh, Dimitri Satch's Diversion. Diversion is a really cool plugin, audio plugin. I really like that. I'm not so sure if I would support it because it's so secret. There's two components that go into making, for me to make a living in this, is that I have a lot of customers with Omnisphere. So that's a large number of customers, because like 10% of the people that buy a plugin will consider buying a library, and like 5% of them actually buy a library. So that's a very small percentage of the overall market, you know. Have I tried Phobos? I have bought that's a sad story. I've bought Phobos, but I can't try it because my computer currently is not compatible with it. It will not install. I'm hoping to fix that in the next couple of months. My Christmas present is to buy myself a new computer for my room here where I work, so that I can work with faster processors and update to a new operating system. I use tools to build these libraries that don't exist in operating systems 10, 11, 12, and so I have to keep this computer frozen at 10.9 for the rest of its life, and hopefully we'll never break it. Yeah, Macintosh. Yeah, the Mac software. This KeyMap Pro, where is it? Right here. KeyMap Pro is the program of unbelievable capabilities. There is nothing that can do what I can do with this program. And so if I was in, I don't think you'll hear it, but I can go to something like this. I could take one of my libraries that I'm working on, and let's see, let's go here to, here's the tuned, not looped versions. So here's all of the samples. I could take something like all of these, option click and drag. It brings them all in, maps them across the keyboard. If I needed, I could go in, I could turn on looping, and it has incredible looping that's done in real time. I can go like this. I can set the crossfade. I can hear it in real time. I can double click a window where I have the editor to see like this to edit and work with. If I wanted to, I could have it take an entire recording that I have created, and it will split it into separate samples, map it, and loop it automatically. It's incredible software, and it doesn't exist because Apple bought them and it went away. So KeyMap Pro will make me keep this computer at operating system 10.9.5 for the rest of its life, you know? Well, Omnisphere is hard. The main reason why Omnisphere isn't pirated is because it's 55 gigabytes. It's a very large synthesizer with a very large sample library to it. Tons of samples. It's easier to buy it than to download and torrent it. And they keep updating it so that there's new features. They're great with their customers, and so the customers are nice back to them. You know, it's what every pro uses. So there's lots of reasons why Omnisphere is in this really nice, much desired by many companies position of being like the synth that's fun to support, to create stuff for. The customers are legit, honest, hardworking professionals, and a lot of the people that are just starting off in synthesis and younger guys, they're just getting their feet wet, and they don't know if they're going to make money, so they don't want to spend money on these things, so they just torrent the different plugins that are available to torrent and start building. And so, you know, we've all been, I torrented at one point when I was a young kid. We all, if you've been around the internet, everybody has, but at one point you grow up, you get married, you have kids, and all of a sudden you go, I don't want to have my stuff that I use be from stealing anymore. I want to buy it myself. And you become part of the economy instead of part of just the outside. Everybody's gone through the cycle. It's nothing new. So I'm used to the cycle, and it's fine. I'm just really happy I have great customers. I'm very blessed. So thank you. Hands together, head bowed to each of you. More questions. Loom 2. I don't know. I'm going to look at that. It's really nice update they did to that. Is there any software today on the market for doing anything similar like Rhythmatica? No. There's Sample Robot is another company that's really great. And now when you can import your own samples. Yeah. The big thing that happened with Atmosphere 2 is the ability to import in samples. There's another company, and to be honest, I've had mixed reports from the guys using it. And that's I believe these guys. Let's see if it goes there. Yeah. Sample Robot. So they have something kind of in the vein of the Rhythmatica. And they have demos so you can try it out. They're up to version 5 with advanced loop and transient finder. And they're for PC and Mac, I believe. So they've got some really cool capabilities. I haven't used them. I mean, I'm happy with my tools, so I'm not trying to look for everything else, and I haven't tried these. But a lot of people have said decent to good things about Sample Robot. So that's another one to check out for the sample editing universe. But I don't think it gets anywhere into the things you can do. Rhythmatica does it does more than I need it to do. It has low pass, high pass, saturation, all sorts of things you can apply per sample before I export it out. So I can fix samples that might not be quite right compared to samples around it. That's one of the things that really saved me with just 7 samples or 8 samples for cello. I was able to fix certain things in certain samples so that they matched between each other far better than I did tricks to get the samples to work. And not a lot of tricks, because if you do too many tricks, then you bury it into sounding processed and not sounding good. But yeah, so things to check out. Sample Robot, the loop thing from Archer is really cool. Oh, shout out. Time for our shout out. Then we're going to go home. So where's everybody at? Tell me where you're at today. I'm going to say greets from PDX. We are live. Greetings from Holland. Yay. Sweden in the house. Right on. State College, Pennsylvania, Terracin. Right on, dude. Long Beach, New York. Holland, Houston, Germany. UK, Nottingham, Cardiff. That's great. Finland today. Nice. Bangkok. Kaksa, good to see you, man. Canada, Paris. I love it. It's so cool to have the ability to have all you guys together chatting, sharing information around the world. Poland, Bavaria, Florida. Holy cow. We're everywhere. It's worldwide. So if you guys want to do me one favor, if you wanted to just share on your feeds or social media or anything that you know this guy that makes crazy synth patches, and if you're a musician, check him out. Sharing that, you guys are my army. And if you could get the word out, share it with your friends, man. It would be very much appreciated if you're able to do that. Sincerely. Berlin. Hey, Impact. Right on, dude. Georgia. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked tonight. It was very fun. I'm so happy to have cello samples to share with you. And don't forget to go get the demo if you haven't on the website. There's a link at the front of the main page at the very top. You can, for $2, take a test drive with some of the cello samples, make some patches if you want. Get a taste for the library before it comes out. It comes out a week from Monday on the 20th. That is Cello Day. So the MegaMagic Cello demo. These patches are available to get a little... Oh, I gotta go over here and make sure I change to this track right here. So these are available to play with. Palm Springs, New York. You guys are everywhere. Thank you so much. Hands together, head bowed sincerely. Great hang. Thank you for being awesome customers. Next week, we will be playing with synthesizer patches, customer patches for MegaMagic Cello. I can't wait to see what shows up at my mailbox. It's really fun. It should be a lot of fun. So we will be doing that. I have a couple other questions that people have been asking about, a couple other plugins that I will put into next week's live stream. If you have questions on my website, there's a contact me link. Send me a little contact. Ask me questions. Anything you have that you want to know about, maybe we can incorporate them into a live stream. I love taking ideas and putting them into the live stream. So I'm going to be programming like crazy all week, and I can't wait to see you guys in a week, and we'll get everything together to make a really cool cello library. Peace, love, be well. See you later. Bye, guys.